Scott Plex City.
Marks.
Scott Plex City.
Marks.
Scott Plex City.
Marks.
Scott Plex City.
Marks.
Yo, what up? We back at it. You back at it. Listening to Scott Plex City. Thank you for tuning on in. I'm Scott Pank. At Scott Radio is the handles. That's Scotty B right there.
Yeah, catch me on Twitter, ScottyB1976, Scotty Bizzle76 on the Instagram, and you can find me on the Facebook as well at Scotty Blaine. That is Scotty with an IE, not a Y.
And we are recording once again. If you didn't see last week's video, it's because we really didn't promote it at all. It wasn't the greatest.
We were testing things out a little bit.
Some stuff didn't really work. I put it up in the middle of the night, and so hopefully this video right here, looking at you, turns out to be way better. So anyways, shout out to Steph. She said TMZ cameras caught up to her or whatever.
Always those TMZ cameras.
Always. They're seriously like the CNN of modern times.
It's crazy, because I remember back in the day, if anything came out on TMZ, you didn't believe it.
Yeah, right.
Now it's totally done a 360. Or should that? No, that's 180 actually.
Yeah, it would be 180.
The opposite, yes. I corrected myself.
360 would be like they went to be good, and then they were like, you know what? Let's stop reporting the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they broke like Prince and Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was like really what was the main thing with TMZ that certified.
I remember when it happened, everyone was like, "Oh, TMZ reporting, it's not real," and it turned out to be true. And ever since then, basically anything they break, it's big. So this wasn't huge news, but it was something nice.
We're like building it up like it's the craziest, biggest news of all time. But Stephanie said yes to China being in the Hall of Fame, and
at some point. She didn't say like next year, the year after that. She said some point. So
when things kind of simmer down and kind of go away, I think that's when everything will be fine for China to go in. The same as Hogan. I think Hogan will go back in. Once everything.
I think technically he's still in there. They're just kind of keeping his name quiet.
I think we'll see Hogan.
They don't put his name on the WWE.com Hall of Fame thing. Once all that really dies down, once the whole lawsuit. I mean, he won his court case.
And did you hear he's got another lawsuit going on against Walker? The thing is that they don't even have that much money anyway. So I don't even get how a lawsuit like that works. When you sue a company for 115 mil and you get awarded it, how does it even work that you get paid out? Because if the company was only worth 30 million, right? So it's like, but I think it would just be in the best interest at this point in time. You won, Hogan. You did that. You got your justice, I guess. Just take a step back. Let stuff die down for 6 months, a year, and when WWE comes calling, in 2017, 2018, hop back on, get on that ship, and just ride it out.
Absolutely.
Because once it dies down, I think you're going to be fine. It's like, just let it die down. Don't keep continuing it on for no reason here. I don't even know why we got talking about Hogan.
Because we're talking about TMZ. We're just talking about controversy and stuff like that.
Speaking of controversy, spring cleaning's going on at the WWE on the roster. We'll also get to somebody getting arrested in just a moment after we talk about spring cleaning. They definitely cleaned house. Some
people, it was like, okay, it was inevitable.
Yeah.
They weren't using them too much and stuff like that. A couple were kind of surprising.
Alex Riley, he got let go.
That surprised me.
I thought they were kind of building him up.
They were building him up in NXT.
Right?
I think they just had like an interview with him last week. I think he was talking about Nakamura. So I was kind of surprised they let him go.
Right. Do you have the list of everybody that's let go down there?
I do.
Because I was about to look it up.
I mean, a couple not so surprised. I mean, a guy like Santino Marella, he basically had to retire to begin with because he had neck problems, but he was still employed by the company apparently, so not really surprising there. El Torito, not surprising because they got rid of the whole combo with the El Matadores anyway, or Los Matadores, whatever they call them. Hornswoggle, they haven't been using him lately. I think not so long ago he got in trouble for wellness policy, so no big surprise there. Zib Coulter, they haven't been using him much. They tried that whole thing with Del Rio, didn't work.
Right.
Okay, big whoop. Cameron, she really couldn't wrestle to begin with.
I mean, her favorite match of all time was, what'd she say again? Oh, God, it was so funny. Whatever it wasn't an all-time match.
What?
Yeah.
And she's probably most notably known for trying to pin Naomi when Naomi's stomach was on the
Forgot
mat.
about that.
Count him! You can't do that, Neil.
What?
You can't do that, Cameron. Come on now.
Bye.
But the ones that were really surprising, Wade Barrett, I think he was planning on leaving anyway. So I think he was planning to do some acting,
He
do
said
some other
something
projects.
about that. I seen something months ago. They're reporting that he wasn't even going to resign when his contract
so
was up.
I think he's always he's going to be able to come back. He's not leaving on any bad terms. I think this was just a way to kind of just separate the two, find whatever, and then we have.
Hold on, real quick. Cameron said her favorite match was Melina versus Alicia Fox.
That was it, yeah.
So yeah, that's hilarious. But anyways, and then the big surprise.
Damien Sandow. I mean, granted they haven't been using him, but he had such a great gimmick. The savior of the unwashed masses, or even doing the whole Damien Mizdow thing.
Mm-hmm.
He always was able to get wherever he did over, even when he was doing that Macho Man thing for a little while. That was kind of getting over.
The crowd and the fans really kind of gravitated towards Sandow.
Yeah, absolutely.
He had that it factor, and he really should have. Yeah, I don't know why they really got rid of him, because there was something else in the tank that Sandow. Damn, I can't. What was his name at the end there? Was it Damien Sandow? What did he end on?
He was doing like the Mizdow man, like the.
I don't even remember what his last official
Macho
name
Mizdow.
was. That
his
his last official
But
name?
I think he was back to the Damien Sandow gimmick. I think he was doing the whole. He was still wearing the bathrobe type thing and all that kind of stuff.
If you can get over like doing like child's play stuff where you're mimicking every move or saying stuff everybody says, and that gets you over. Like, come on, there's something there for him. It's just they couldn't figure it out. So the lack of creativity and the creative isn't really working to do what they should be doing, especially for somebody like that. I think he'd be good for this new era that they always say, and I hate.
They're just trying to put it over,
It's like every minute, do you have to say new era? Like Michael Cole, really? Mike, I'm looking at you. Really?
But it's kind of like the whole ruthless aggression era when they started.
Michael,
when they did the whole ruthless aggression era, they were using that word quite a bit too. I mean, that whole angle in Cena when Cena first came out. What do you have? What do you think you have that can beat me? Ruthless aggression, and then boom, they started using that word quite a bit. So this is the way to kind of put over this new era.
It's just by saying it's the new era.
It's the new era.
It's the new era. What is this era going to be known as, though?
The new era, I guess.
So when we look back on time, we'll be like, okay, that was the
we had the golden era in the 80s, we had the new generation in the 90s, and then late 90s we had the attitude era, then the ruthless aggression era, and then I guess the PG era, and then the reality era is in that same time frame as well.
Yeah.
We're still in that. I'd say we're still in the reality era. And of course we had the injury era too, which was just only a few short months.
Yeah. But it's actually still kind of continuing on.
Yeah, because that's the reason why we actually brought aboard a new diva. But before we get to that, there's one other release that happened. Guy who'd been there 30 years. The Brooklyn Brawler got let go. Mm-hmm. He was working backstage. I think he was one of the backstage agents, or whatever they call them these days. He was still working. I had no idea he was still actually working for him.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known that he was on working for the company.
I thought he was maybe he was still kind of maybe on the payroll, but really wasn't being used that much. Apparently, he was a backstage guy.
Did he want to just step down and go with family and stuff?
From what I know, they just let him go. So
really,
but in the way, I'm not really surprised by that. Maybe he was getting paid a lot for.
He probably was making a nice chunk of money.
There was a guy who was a timekeeper. His name was Mark Eaton. I got let go last year, 2 years ago, or whatever. He had been there with the company forever, and they let him go. So it might have been just, people have been there for a while. Okay, I think it's your time to go. And maybe bring in someone you don't have to pay quite as much, and that sort of thing. That happens in all businesses,
And maybe they're paying more to the talent because they got a lot of talent right now on the roster, and they keep adding to it. And it's not looking good. We're going to get talking about the alleged comeback of a huge superstar, which is going to be dope. We'll talk about Raw and all that in just a few minutes here. But Adam Rose,
this is breaking today. We're recording this on Wednesday.
He is just, he's on a downward spiral. And according to the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department, I think it's called Hillsborough, Rose, Raymond Lepin, or Lepin.
Lapon.
Lepin.
Lapon.
He was arrested at 1:30 a.m. For tampering with a witness and battery domestic violence. So it sounds like he had an altercation with his wife.
I guess so.
Is it his wife or fiance or
I'm pretty
girlfriend?
sure it's his
I
wife.
believe it's his wife. Rose is also currently suspended for that failed drug test that he had.
The weird thing about that is, though, is that I think that got overturned because I think WWE said they were at fault, that he did have a prescription for whatever he was taking.
Okay.
And so I still haven't gotten
The full breakdown
the full breakdown
on that.
exactly what happened there. Is he still technically suspended? Are they going through all that still? But at the same time, it doesn't really matter now.
Is
even,
this something
even if
where
that's been turned around, I think this is the
do
end.
they
of the
like
line
kind
for
of
him.
quietly let him go now?
I think so.
Because I mean, there was these altercations that came up with Stone Cold before, but Stone Cold is a superstar and was a huge part. So they
And
kind
he
of
wasn't with the WWE at the time that happened
Yeah.
with Deborah.
So I mean, there's times that this happens, but it's different situations and different types of levels of people. So I don't really know where that's gonna go from there because it's like. He's in the WWE. He's on the roster. It doesn't look good with the failed drug test, regardless if they
I think
say.
that was. I think even though that drug test has been overturned, I think this
But
was
even
his,
though it's still
that would have
out
been his
there.
second strike because I
Yeah.
think he'd been in trouble before with it.
Because this was the 60-day one, or the 90-day one, because it's 30 then 90, right? Right.
No, I think this was a 60-day one. So I think it goes 30, 60, and then done, or maybe that's
I don't
something
know.
else I got to
You
look
know
into
the
as well.
rules. You can tweet us. Scott Radio,
Exactly.
Scotty B, 19,
1976.
and let us know the real ones. So Adam
But-
Rose,
but-
he needs to get on some. Maybe they should put him in a program, therapy, because at the end of the day, I really want Adam Rose to succeed. He has a son that has special needs, and his son.
That's what kills me the most.
Yeah.
After watching that ESPN NXT special that was on, you're seeing what his son goes through, and that he's doing this for his child, and now he's doing all sorts of stupid stuff. What's going on there?
Yeah,
What's
right.
wrong with him? That's
Like, why would you jeopardize something
Exactly.
like that? Because at the end of the day, I feel that McMahon would keep Rose on the roster, and he would still be even a jobber on the roster because McMahon knows how his family is, and
Mhm.
McMahon is a family man. At the end of the day, you know
Absolutely.
he's a family man. So I feel that Rose always had a spot on the roster to make money and probably have insurance. That way his son, it's his son, right?
Yeah.
That way his son could get medical care and they don't have to worry about it. But if you're going to do stuff like this, you can't really, like if you're failing drug tests and you're getting arrested for domestic violence and all this stuff, like regardless if it never happened and it's just like made up and it's all alleged right now, it's not facts, you know what I mean? He hasn't been convicted, but
he's got a mugshot.
but
the
it
whole
don't
nine
matter
yards, so.
because at the end of the day, this is what people are going to see. They're not going to see where the drug test, where WWE is like, oh, never mind, that's like our fault. You let that go with the drug test. Everybody knows that he failed the drug test. It's not, oh, they don't care about that. They don't care about the truth.
Yep.
The lie's more entertaining. You know what I mean? And that's what people really go with. So, I don't know. Adam Rose needs some help. Somebody should step in there. Counseling, therapy. I'm not really sure, but I think he needs something.
I mean, hopefully they do give him one more chance, but I mean, it's not looking good when you have all this stuff start happening, especially with domestic violence. They're not gonna be too lenient on that for sure.
Ryback, he's still pushing his chops. Like we mentioned it quickly last week at the
Yep.
end, but basically what Ryback said is he didn't feel that people were getting treated fairly and matches weren't right and that he wasn't getting paid equal, and he felt that since WWE they already determined the outcome of the people, kind of playing to the camera a little bit here, you know, they already have the outcome determined, so it really doesn't matter if you win or lose. So everybody should get paid the same. That's what he was saying. But at the end of the day, I do agree with that. It don't really matter the win or loss because
Absolutely.
it's predetermined. And when
But
you
at the
get
same
to a
time, are
certain
you
level,
drawing? Are people coming in to see
right?
you? You should be
Are
getting
your
more of that-
merchandise
more of that
flying
money.
off and stuff like?
Exactly.
You can't tell me, Ryback, that you deserve to get as much money as Roman Reigns. You know, I'm not a
John
fan of
Cena,
Roman
for that
Reigns
matter,
or
yeah.
John Cena or
Cena is the one who is definitely selling that merchandise. The New Day, they're selling that merchandise like
they should
a
be
brand new guy
making
like
money.
AJ Styles. He is selling that merchandise right now. So
You're not a draw. People ain't popping for you. Just face it, Ryback. You are lower than Kalisto. Nobody cares.
I care.
Nobody cares.
I care.
Nobody.
Don't hurt me, Ryback. I care.
Nobody.
I like the gimmick, but it wasn't getting over, and it seems like he's just blaming everyone else for the fact that his gimmick is not.
And
getting
all that
over.
butt kissing to Vince and working out with him every day didn't pay off, and it's just like, I think that his gimmick was. The big guy thing is cool, and being a big powerhouse and a dominant, like wrestler out there would have been great, and the new Goldberg in a sense, like everybody chanted, but they didn't do it right. He just wasn't I don't think he had the vocal ability and the ability to make a promo and talk in the middle of the ring and make it really connect with the audience. That's just my personal opinion. He wasn't able to connect with the audience. That's why he didn't get over. And that's why a lot of people can't get over. If you can connect with the audience, you get over.
True.
If you can't, you don't get over. And it just is what it is.
And the guy can talk too. I've heard interviews with him where he's talking.
Yeah, his interviews are great,
but when he's doing a promo, it just doesn't seem to work.
Right.
It's strange.
Brock
Lesnar's the same way. I mean, that's why he's got the mouthpiece of Paul Heyman for his promos. But when he's doing an actual interview, there's the Stone Cold interview. I've heard other ones with him on ESPN. The guy can carry on a conversation. He's a good interview.
But you need to work on some things, Ryback. Like, stop being a baby. You're looking bad out here. Looking bad. We're going to talk about Stephanie and Shane working together and what's going on with that. We'll talk about those Raw results in just a few. But the big rumor right now is that Seth is almost ready to come back.
I think all of them are ready to come back. According to Vince McMahon, we know that John Cena is coming back on Memorial Day.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why they announced that. I don't like that they announced that.
Because it's John Cena. But, I mean, come on.
Think about, he would have. I think he would have got a big pop if that was a surprise.
Yeah, but he already came back for WrestleMania, so the fact that
true, but
announce it
so.
Memorial Day, another reason to tune into Raw because it's a holiday, so maybe not as many people will be watching.
Yeah.
Give them a reason to watch.
I'll give you that one.
We got Randy Orton. He might be coming back very soon. Seth Rollins, like you said, there's been talk about that for a while now, that he's been doing lots of training and all that kind of stuff. So there's that. And then there's Bray Wyatt, who's been out not nearly as long as those three, but he's been hurt recently, so he's probably going to be coming back very, very near future. So as we're getting closer and closer to Money in the Bank, which would be great for Seth Rollins to come back during that pay-per-view, and then a few months later.
Imagine if he won Money in the Bank.
We got SummerSlam, so
but
we're building up to some big stuff.
Does Seth still get a rematch because he just gave up the title, or does that not matter? When you what is it?
I think
what's that word called when you give up the title?
Relinquish the title.
Yeah, relinquish it. I don't know how that works, but do you think this is a possibility we maybe see? We haven't seen Triple H in a long time, so maybe could Triple H and Seth come back together and come out there and try to take power of stuff?
That could be it.
Like, we're taking back what was ours. Like, Triple H is like...
Or the fact that Seth Rollins comes out with a belt.
I hope.
I've heard this rumor, I think we might have even talked about this before, comes out with a belt saying, I never lost this. No one ever beat me for this. You know, Roman Reigns is a chump. He's not a champ. I'm the real champion. I never lost this thing. And maybe kind of do the sort of thing that they did with Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon back in the day and have a ladder match with both titles. That would be cool. Or maybe,
similar to CM Punk, Cena too.
Something to that effect too. Yeah, have those two guys going against each other for the belt. That would be very much like that as well. Even more like that, obviously, because CM Punk never lost the title as well. I think that would be a great idea. Or either that, Seth Rollins comes back and as soon as he does, saying, I'm going to be the first one to go for the Money in the Bank. I'm the first one to put my name into the Money in the Bank match because I deserve it. You know, I don't need to qualify for anything like that. I deserve to be put right in that match. I
Seth
think
Rollins,
a great way to better way to do it is to say, I never lost the belt. I am still the champion.
does he come back heel or face?
I think he initially comes back as a heel. He's got to, because that's how he left. He'll get a pop either way, because he's Seth freaking Rollins.
Right.
But
I think
his
role will be heel.
I think he'll probably be a part of it. If they still kind of have the authority going on, I mean, he'll nuzzle up with Steph and Trips if Trips is around, because
we'll see what's going on.
He hasn't been around for a while,
Weeks.
so we don't know what's going on there. He hasn't been around since WrestleMania, so.
And then that's why we've seen Shane and Stephanie, and they're kind of working together now. There's not the friction there that maybe we all thought that was going to go on. They're kind of getting along, but it's like, are they just playing nice right now? Is Stephanie just playing nice so Shane will let his guard down so she can slide in there and do like a corporate takeover type thing, or a screw him over type thing?
I think that's it, because at one point on Monday there was an interview, or they had some sort of backstage segment where Stephanie was like, "Great idea, Shane," and they were looking all buddy, and then Shane leaves the picture and the camera pans on Stephanie. It looks like the wheels were spinning in her head, like, okay, this is the way I'm going to screw him over type thing. That she's manipulating something, and it's just
something with her father and like getting him involved, I think, and or is this a way really to kind of get the rub that Shane has to put it on to Steph, because they know Shane's not going to be there long, and they
we don't know that really. He still might stick around.
And they're like, okay, well, Shane's going to leave in a couple months, so let's get this rub on to Steph, so when he leaves, there's still, even though Steph is over, you know,
I don't want
just
to see
give
her
her
as
a
a
different,
face, though.
she's the heel.
She is a great heel. She plays it to the T. She's just like her father. I mean, well, Vince has done the whole face thing. He still gets the pop, but as a heel, he's great, and she's just such a biatch when she is a heel. It wouldn't work as a face.
But either way, it's really refreshing and enjoyable to see Shane and Stephanie on TV together, because it's really great. They really do a good job. I've always thought Steph did a great job, and I think Shane is really getting back into flow. But I think it was a little shaky the
He's
first
just
couple
rusty.
weeks.
He hasn't been there for how many years?
But now he's feeling it and back into it and getting used to it again. So now I think it's just really good with those two. So we'll see where this plays out. I mean, I think there's going to be something that will come in one of the pay-per-views. Maybe SummerSlam. The big thing for SummerSlam will be between them two. Well, we'll see how it plays out. But I really think it's Steph kind of playing nice, so Shane lets his guard down, so
and
she
this
can
could
do
still lead
whatever.
to a possible brand split. They're still talking
like they
about
do something
that.
like where Shane's like, oh, you know, I'm gonna leave today, and Steph's like, he leaves, and then Steph all of a sudden is like, okay, well, Triple H is taking out Roman Reigns right now for the championship, no disqualification, this is blah 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 type of match, and a way to, get power or something like that. We're gonna get into those Raw results in just a few minutes, and Big Cass main eventing Raw.
Kind of, in a way, he didn't really have the match, but a way
in that spot.
Yeah, a way to keep him in there, make people obviously not forget about him with the whole injury with Enzo. So I mean, I think he's got potential if down the line they split up Enzo and Big Cass, which hopefully they don't for quite some time. But he's got decent mic skills. He's a big guy. Vince loves the big guys. I could see him being a world heavyweight champion.
I think Enzo and Big Cass are gonna be huge when they get over. And Enzo annoying, Triple H said, is hilarious.
Jericho said. He said Triple H.
Oh yeah. Jericho
said. He was on your mind. We were talking about it. That's all.
So that's that with Big Cass. So doing good job. I really like that. I can't wait to see them back together though. But let's get into Raw here. Baron Corbin took on Dolph Ziggler. Great match. Baron Corbin really just like beat him down. Wasn't a squash match, but
I mean,
it was
Ziggler
a match.
got plenty of offense. Yeah,
but it was a good match right there. Paige versus Charlotte was a great match.
I love watching Paige, especially
Paige is
those
out
two.
the doghouse, I guess.
If she ever was in one, who knows?
But yeah, I don't think they were trying to do too much at once with the Diva women's division. So Paige defeated Charlotte
with a little help from
Rick
and Shane coming out and the distractions, the whole 9 yards.
Quick little roll up. But it was interesting. That was like a start of the see that Shane and Steph working together because I can't remember. I think it was Steph was like, "No, we're gonna ban you, Rick, from the ring."
From Extreme Rules, and then Shane was like, "Let's step it up a notch, and for tonight, you're banned tonight as well."
So that's what the women's championship match coming up at Extreme Rules is that Rick isn't going to be there, banned from the ring. So that
Charlotte
really
versus Natalya submission match. That should be another great match between those two.
But this is a chance to kind of really show. Every now and then with a heel, you got to let them get almost like a clean win.
Yeah.
You can't have interference.
Something's gonna
Somehow Charlotte still walks away with the title. We got Sami Zayn versus The Miz. Great match. Miz never gets the respect he deserves. He always, whatever level he's with, if somebody, he can always compete at that level. I think so.
And that's going to be a great fatal four-way at Extreme Rules in a couple of weeks. I mean, you have The Miz, you have Owens, you have Cesaro, and now because of that match, you have Sami Zayn part of that too. That match is going to be sick.
I can't wait to see that.
That match is going to steal the show.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's going to be the match of the night for sure. No doubt about it.
Possibly AJ Styles and Roman could too, because Roman's been putting on some good matches. I mean, they had a great match the last Payback, those two, and this one being no disqualification. Anything goes. That one should be good too. But I think the Fatal 4-Way is definitely going to be the show stealer.
Kevin Owens took on Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder tried to get into that championship match that you were just talking about, for the IC title. And Zack Ryder, at least he's getting time, and they're using him, and he looked good. And Kevin Owens made him look good during that match. The Dudley Boys versus the New Day. That was the setup for the Vaughn Villains to come on out and interrupt and really set up for all that stuff. But it's getting Dudley Boys in the picture for them to take the title. I'm not at this because obviously New Day's taking on the Vaughn Villains, but the next pay-per-view, I'm pretty sure Dudley Boys are going to get the championship.
They got to get at least another shot.
I would think so.
They're keeping them in there, keeping people's minds with the Dudley Boys. So I could see them definitely in there still.
Dean Ambrose comes out when Chris Jericho was supposed to take on Big Cass to end off Raw, and Dean Ambrose attacking me, was supposed to be in the hospital, and Dean Ambrose took his jacket and ripped it all apart, and it's like $15,000. Oh, you idiot! Oh, Jericho's so funny as a heel. Jericho is awesome as a heel. I don't think he gets really the credit that he deserves, to be honest with you, as a heel.
I totally agree.
I think people kind of underestimate him as a heel. When people are talking about all-time greats, I don't see them really mention him as a heel.
Not as much as they should, that's for sure.
You know, because his character is definitely, it's that annoying, you want to punch someone in the face.
Call everyone idiots and just calling them names. And the best thing that ever happened, this was quite a few years ago, when he was, I think, tagging with Big Show at the time. They had a match on Raw, and about ready to throw someone in the ring, and someone from the crowd goes, "Go back to Toronto," and he turns to him and goes, "I'm from Winnipeg, you idiot." The best ever. Just on the fly, boom, says something to a fan.
That's so funny. The Club is back together.
The Club, yeah.
So AJ officially said with Gallows and Anderson that the Club is back together, which is dope because Extreme Rules is going to be, somehow it's going to clash off between the Club and, I'm going to call them the Bloodline?
The Family is what they're calling them. They're calling them the Family. The Bloodline would be a great
I think the Bloodline is way name, better name.
The Family, going to keep it simple, yeah.
Okay. The Bloodline could be really, really dope, actually. And Roman Reigns in a group is awesome. Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, short and to the point with his words, is awesome. That backstage segment they had when they were in the locker room toward the end of Raw, that was the best I've seen Roman Reigns possibly since the Shield days. Because he was tough. He looked like he was strong. When Roman Reigns is with people, he's good. So
I'll agree. And the funny thing was, the fans there, where were they? Omaha?
Yeah.
The fans were going back and forth. I mean, let's go, AJ Styles, Roman Reigns. The fact that they were loud with the Roman Reigns chants, I was like, where are we?
Right?
Where are we right now? It's like there's not a whole smattering of boos. He was getting quite a bit of face chants, and I couldn't believe that. So,
But Roman
maybe
Reigns,
slowly but surely, he's kind of getting over.
Yeah, Roman Reigns is kind of doing it, and I think sticking him with a group like this is the best thing. I know it's one versus all, and I'm the guy, but when he's with two other people, I think it's good. And
I'd much rather see him back in the Shield. I love the Shield, but I mean, this works. The
bloodline is definitely dope. Keep it.
It works.
The family.
It works.
That's
the family.
so dumb. Oh, that ruins it for me right there. Right when I was like, yo, I'm liking Roman Reigns, I hear that it's called the family.
The family. Like, well, it is his family.
But still, they are bloodline.
Yeah, true.
I like the bloodline. Let's roll with that. Can we, WWE? So I think this championship match between Roman and AJ is going to end in a disqualification somehow. There's going to be...
Anything goes.
Oh, it is Extreme Rules.
It's no disqualification.
Oh, so
Extreme
who do you think?
Match.
Let's make an early prediction. Who are you taking?
I got to go with Roman. I think there'll be a lot, once again, since there's no disqualification, the family and the club are going to get involved in this match. This is going to be a huge... It might end up getting thrown out because there's going to be so much crap going on, but I'll probably go with Roman Reigns on that one.
I think so, too. I think Roman's going to hold the title until Seth comes back because I think we're going to see Roman versus Seth. Because that's what they were building for
exactly.
before Seth
got
left.
hurt.
So I think that's where they're going to kind of pick right up off of. That's pretty much it for this week of wrestling. Anything else you could think of?
One thing that was announced recently, they're going to have another one of those network exclusive events. It's going to be happening in Hawaii.
Ooh.
And they've already mentioned some matches that are going to happen at this.
Okay.
John Cena versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, wow.
Right there.
Wow.
I think, boom.
Okay.
I believe there's going to be a match between Asuka and Charlotte on this thing.
Okay.
And I could be wrong, but I thought I also read that Brock Lesnar versus Kevin Owens.
Woo, please! I want to see that.
June 29th, if I'm not mistaken. I could totally be wrong.
I want that. Yeah. Also, Dana Brooke. She made her debut on Raw, too.
Only because, basically, they're hurting with some of the women's wrestlers. Naomi and Tamina, I believe, are both injured, so they needed to bring in a little more heel heat. And plus the fact you brought in Emma, they were together in NXT, it works.
I thought it was perfect. Also, if you see a rumor go around that Finn Balor was backstage at Raw this past Monday night,
did you start that? I saw that on Twitter. Like, what the hell is this?
I tweeted something, and all of a sudden it had like 20 retweets and like a whole bunch of likes, and then I deleted it because I just thought it would be. I was trolling. So I deleted it, and I was just hoping that like Meltzer or somebody would pick it up, and then I could call them out for being like lying because of everything. But yeah, it's not true.
I saw that myself.
He might have been there, but I don't know. Like
I saw that myself. I was like, wait a minute, how would you even know that? You're not there at the arena because they were in Nebraska, for God's sake. And then
I even changed my Twitter location to where Raw was.
Oh, did you? I didn't notice that, but. Then I went on your page. I'm like, where is it? So obviously you had deleted it. I was like, oh, you trolling?
I trolled. I do that sometimes. It's fun to me. All right, so that's it. Subscribe to Plex City. We drop the show every single Wednesday for you. Video editions are coming. We're still working out the kinks in that, but we're going to have some really great videos of this show for you following that. We'll start dropping on Thursdays. Just subscribe to Pank's Podcast on iTunes or Stitcher. Hit me up on any social media at Scott Radio. Scotty B.
You can find me at Scotty B1976 on Twitter, Scotty Bizzle76 on the Instagram, and Scotty Blaine on the Facebook. That is, once again, Scotty with an I-E, not a Y.
Adam Rose, smart enough. Do I need to sit you down and have a man-to-man with you? Because if so, me and Scotty are heading there. All right, have a good one.
Don't be a lemon. Be a rosebud.
Scott Plex City.
Marks.
Scott Plex City.
Marks.
Scott Plex City.
Marks.
Scott Plex City.
Marks.